Hey guys, I'm Deepthi Desikan, and in this video we're gonna be swatching some of the best-selling mass cosmetic lipsticks, liquid lipstick shades, some of their popular shades. Okay, so I'm gonna be sharing my unfiltered thoughts, opinions on these, and what you should pick up and what you can avoid, and how the shades look like. So I feel like mass cosmetics does have some good lipstick shades, like very popular shades, but not everything from this particular brand is very impressive in my opinion. Like for me, for Swiss Beauty, I was very impressed with most of their lipsticks and liquid lipsticks I've tried out, but it's not the same for me with mass cosmetics. I feel like they can do a much better job, and some of the ranges just lack pigmentation in general. So anyways, I'm not swatching their non-transfer butter lipstick because I have done an entire swatch video for that. You can check it out. I will link it right here. It is an older video. I will link it right here. I really like the deeper shades from that particular range. It's really nice. It goes on creamy, settles down completely matte. It's non-transfer for sure, but it can be very drying, and to swatch them again on my lips, I feel like it's a very tedious process because I'm already swatching a lot of lipsticks in this video, you will see. So it's a little bit harder for me to take those off, so you can watch the swatch video of that right here. I'm not sure if that range is still available because I'm pretty sure they've changed the packaging, but I'm not sure if that range is still available. And every now and then there is newer launches from mass cosmetics which I might have missed out on, and it might have not been included in this video. I'm not sure. I've not been able to keep up. So anyways, these swatches are not done in natural light. I literally do not get the time to film any video during the daytime. So right now it's around 11 o'clock and I sat down to film this video around like 9. I do have a little bit of makeup on because I have been demoing some products for another video. So anyways, let's get started with the swatches. First up, I'm going to be swatching these sets from Mass Cosmetics. These are a set of 3 lipsticks. You get a brown variant, a peaches and nude, and a reds and maroons. There's also a purple variant of this one, which I have thrown away the box of, but I have the lipsticks right here. I feel like these are good value sets because you get 3 lipsticks for a really affordable price point. And the formula of these lipsticks are really nice. They go on creamy matte and settle to a comfortable matte finish. They're not transfer proof and they're not very, very pigmented lipsticks. So if you have naturally pigmented lips, the pigmentation of your lips will peek through with these lipsticks. And some of these shades you do have to apply a little bit more pressure, especially the lighter shades. And yeah, so that's what I feel about these. I feel like the browns variant is my absolute favorite one because all of the shades in this one I really like, but the other ones, again, I will talk to you guys about what works for what skin tone and all of that. So yeah, they have a really nice like coffee scent to it, like that Copico scent, and I really like it. I'm not sure how many people like scents in their lipstick, so that is something you have to keep in mind. So don't expect a lot of pigmentation with this. They are not transfer proof, but they are comfortable. They stay on your lips for a decent amount of time, and they always have this ease of reapplication, and they don't really dry your lips out. So that's what you get with this particular set. The first one I'm going to be swatching is the browns collection, and I feel like the shades in this brown set pretty much are very cohesive. Like they work with each other as well if you want to mix and match, and individually as well they are really nice shades and would work across skin tones. And I don't think there's one shade in this that you might not like. It's a mixture of brown shades that have different undertones, works really well for a lot of different skin tones, and I absolutely love this. I feel like this is one product from this video you would pick up and you'll not be disappointed. Okay, so the first shade that we have is the shade number 10, which is called Nude Crush, which is a really nice mauvey brown shade, and this is what it looks like on my lips. I absolutely love this shade, and it's something I have used quite a lot. The next shade we have is called number 11, Play It Safe. A very light cool toned sort of a brown shade, which doesn't work for my skin tone without makeup or without a darker lip liner for deeper skin tones, but I really like the shade, and I feel like it's a little of a bit of a variation in the set. So this is how it looks like. And the other shade from this set is called Hotspot number 12, which is more of a warm toned brown shade. It has a little bit of a red undertone to it. Again, this would work on different skin tones without makeup as well. Like for my skin tone, I can pull this off without makeup. So if you're looking for a warm tone brown shade, I think you'd really like this. So that pretty much completes the brown set. Next, we're moving on to peaches and nudes, which I know a lot of people really like this set, but for me, I feel like some of the shades don't work out for my skin tone. So the first shade I'm going to be swatching from this set is 04 Instant Flush. This is a very light pink nude shade for my skin tone. Next shade is called 05 Dream Chaser, which is more of a brighter neon pink shade. Even though it is so bright, it doesn't look patchy on the lips at all. So this is how it looks like on my lips. Then the last shade from this range is 06 Elegance. This is a very light peachy nude shade for my skin tone. and I'm not sure it would suit people of medium tan and deeper skin tones. What I particularly feel about this Peaches and Nude set is that it suits people of light and light medium skin tones a lot better than people of medium tan and deeper skin tones. So expect it to show up a little bit like pale on your lips if you are of my skin tone or deeper. So I would recommend this for people of light and light medium skin tones. And then moving on to the Reds collection, I'm not a very big fan of the shades in the Reds collection. I feel like it doesn't really like work out for my skin tone. Some of it is too bright, so let me just swatch some and show you. The first shade we have is called 01 Self Expression, which is a really bright orange toned red shade, and I know there are a lot of people who would absolutely love this. I mean, it's not patchy or anything, it looks beautiful on the lips, but sometimes could be a little bit too bright. The next shade we have is called 02 Fashion Statement. This is sort of like a very different shade. It has a little bit of like a peachy terracotta hint to it and also a little bit of red, so it's a very unique shade if you wanted to own something like this. The last shade is my kind of red shade. It's like a berry toned red shade, which is called 03 Take a Dare. It's a beautiful shade, and I think a lot of you guys would really like this one. The last one is Purple Set, which I don't really have the box of this one. I've thrown it away. So the first one we have is shade number 07, which is called Trend Alert. This is a beautiful mauvey purple shade, and I feel like this would look so good on so many different skin tones. I can see a lot of people really liking this, wearing this without makeup. It's not something that would wash you out. It's not something that is too purple where it'll make you look very dull. So I really like this particular shade. The next one we have is called 08 Fashionista. This is like a straight up grungy purple shade with not much of an undertone shift to it. So these kind of shades actually work really well if you want to use it like a mixer, like you want to mix it with another shade and like change the undertone of that or add a little bit more purple to that or something like that. So again, if you buy this set of 3, you can mix and match the shade and get it to your liking. The last shade from this range is called 09, which is Magnetic, which is, I feel like, a very like subtle nude shade with a little bit of like purple hints to it. So I feel like this is very similar to MAC Meher, and I feel like I can't wear this without makeup. So if I wanted to mix and match, I would use something like that purple shade and maybe deepen it up a little bit. So yeah, this is how the shade looks like. Probably like try to deepen this up and see. Add a little bit purple. This is how you get it. So that's what I mean. When you buy this set, you can mix and match. You can also add the other shade on top of this, make your own custom shade. So it's like you just mix the shade you want. You can't change the undertone, but you can customize the shade according to your choice. Now swatching some of their lip crayons. So these are very matte. Okay, they go on very pigmented on your lips. You get a lot of quantity with these lip crayons, and they are really affordable as well. They stay on your lips for a really long time. Can be drying depending on your preference for like a matte formulation. So if you don't really like super matte lip crayons, you would not like this, but they're not very drying according to me. I have dry flaky lips pretty much throughout the year, and I can manage with this. They are pretty much like transfer proof. They don't transfer as much, and I feel like these are good value for money compared to a lot of other lip crayons in the market. I like the formulation of this one. I like the price point. I like the quality. This one and the Swiss Beauty. I feel like they're really good. So the first shade that we have is what I have on my lips right now, which is called Girl Power. This is one of their best selling shades, and a lot of people really like this across skin tones. So this is like a brown shade with a lot of terracotta red hints to it, and this can be like your everyday lipstick shade depending on your skin tone. I mean, if you are of a lighter skin tone than I am, it could be a little bit too deep, but still a beautiful shade. And if you are of medium tan, deeper skin tone, this is a beautiful reddish sort of a nude shade. These are hard to take off, okay, so I'm having a tough time with my lips right here. Next shade we have is called Berry Brave, which is a very warm brown shade, like a light brown shade. Work for people up to medium skin tones. I mean, if you are of a deeper skin tone, I'm not sure if you would really like this particular shade. The next one we have is called Let's Get It, which is a very peachy red kind of a shade, and it's a beautiful shade indeed, but again, not everybody's cup of tea. Like, I don't really like this one on my skin tone as much, but again, it's personal preference. The next one we have is called Smile Please, which is a very pale nude shade for my skin tone, almost looks like concealer lips. It's very popular among people of lighter skin tone. Next shade is called I Am Relentless, which is a beautiful deep pink shade with a lot of purple undertones to it, and I can again see this one work for a lot of different skin tones. For some reason, this is not as pigmented as Girl Power or Berry Brave. I think this is a reformulated or newer shade range. The next shade we have is called No Filter, which is an earthy red kind of a shade. Just swatching some shades from the Poppins lip crayon range. Now the thing about this lip crayon formulation is that it goes on a little bit like waxy on the lips, like a slip to it. It has a little bit of shine, and then it settles down to a matte finish, but it's not the most pigmented lip formulation. And I feel like this could be easily avoided, you know. The other lip crayon range is much better than this. This is not pigmented enough, and this is not my favorite, but because a lot of people really like this lip crayon range, I did pick up a couple of shades from this. But if it was personally up to me, I would skip. The first one we have is a shade called Coffee Brown, and which is more of a reddish shade with subtle brown hints to it more than a brown shade. Next one is called Dripping Syrup, again more of a red shade with subtle brown hints to it. Not my favorite, and like I mentioned, I would probably just skip this if it was up to me completely. And the next shade we have is called Plum Nights, which is a very nice wearable plum shade with, you know, it has a little bit of red to it as well. It's a beautiful shade, and it does make your teeth look a little white. The last shade we have from this range is called Swooning Maroon, which is more like a pink toned red shade rather than a maroon shade. And again, nothing to write home about. I know I've mentioned this a couple of times, but I think if it was up to me, I would just completely skip this particular range. So next time I'm going to be swatching this particular range of lipsticks. I'm not sure what it is called. This is how the bullet looks like, but it's very similar to their lipstick set collection. The formulation of this, it goes on like creamy, settles down to a comfortable matte finish, and it does transfer quite a bit, but I really like the shades in this particular range. So the first one I have on my lips right now is called Bollywood Surprise, which is a brown shade with a little bit of red to it as well. It's a very nice wearable shade. Again, not very unique, but a nice shade in case you were looking at swatches for this particular shade. The next shade we have is called Sinful Salsa, which is like a cool toned purple shade. I really like this particular shade. Not very pigmented. This entire range is not very pigmented, but I like the shade on my skin tone. Next shade is, I think, very popular. The shade is called Grapeful Guma. This is a beautiful shade. It has a little bit of like a pink, red, purple undertone to it. I feel like it's very similar to Nika Cleopatra, but just not as pigmented as that one, and maybe not as deep as that one. But yeah, this is a beautiful shade, and I think it's a very popular shade for the reason it's beautiful. Next up we have the shade called Zesty Zumba, which is more like a dusty burgundy shade, which is a beautiful shade. And if there's something you have to pick up from this range, I think it's this Grateful Goma. You would absolutely love these shades. Next up we have the shade called Berrylicious Ballet, which is more of a warm pink shade with subtle red undertones to it. It's not that much of a berry shade. So yeah, this is how it looks like. I really like it. It's a nice warm pink shade. Next up we have the shade called Bhangra Bloom. It's more like a red shade with warm pink undertones to it. The previous one was a warm pink shade with red undertones. This one is more of a red shade with warm pink undertones to it. And it's not something that I think a lot of people would like. But again, it depends on your preference, but it does look a little bit neon on my lips, a little bit too bright for my preference. Now next up we have their liquid lipsticks. So the formulation of this one is okay in my opinion. So they are not very thick, they're also not very runny, but they have like a consistency where it is good enough to cover the pigmentation of your lips, but not the most pigmented liquid lipsticks. They feel really nice and comfortable on the lips, and they're not sticky at all. And they have this subtle like blurring effect, nothing that's showing the lines of my lips or anything like that. So that way it's really nice, comfortable, lightweight, but they're not the most long wearing liquid lipsticks, and they do transfer quite a bit. So just keep that in mind. And the shades are okay, again, not very intriguing in my opinion. So the first shade I have is the one I have on my lips right now. It's called Heart Thief. These retail for ₹199. It's a really nice dusty burgundy kind of a shade. It has a little bit of brown, it has a little bit of burgundy, cool toned burgundy undertones to it. It's a nice shade to wear on a daily basis even without makeup, and it wouldn't wash you out. And another thing that I should mention about these liquid lipsticks is they have a really waxy scent, a very predominant scent that kind of smells a little bit like, you know, old coconut oil. Not the most pleasant one. The next shade we have is called Spiced Brown, which is a very cool toned brown shade. can be similar to a lot of your high-end cool toned brown lipstick shades. So this could be a dupe, okay? Next up we have the shade called Dark Teaser, which is a deep pink shade. Nothing that you haven't already seen in this kind of formulation of lipstick. So in case you wanted to pick up a similar shade in a liquid lipstick, you can try this out. If you wanted to try out something in a bullet lipstick, you can try out the shade called Sinful Salsa. So they're like similar color family, and also the purple collection also has, I think, a similar shade. So yeah, pick and choose according to your preference. Next up we have the shade called Chocolate Delight, which is like a warm brown shade and looks like a nude shade on my lips. Next up we have the shade called Trend Train, which is a cool toned light purple shade for my skin tone. That's everything I wanted to talk to you guys about, swatch, and let you guys know that what is my opinion about some of the ranges in this particular brand. So let me know what are your favorite shades from this particular brand. If you have tried anything out, let me know in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.